The hidden truth is that before God ever promotes you, He always leaves behind silent signs that most people overlook. And if you are discerning, you will see that what feels like chaos, delay, or even rejection is actually heaven's confirmation that promotion is near, because God never takes you higher without first preparing the foundation to sustain what He is about to release. And that preparation almost always comes disguised as difficulty, for the Lord tests the vessel before He pours in the oil. And one of the first signs you may notice is isolation, because when God is preparing to lift you, He will begin to separate you from certain people, places, and patterns that no longer fit where He is taking you. And while you may interpret it as abandonment, the truth is that God is secretly pruning your relationships so that when He elevates you, you are not weighed down by voices that cannot carry the vision. Just as Abraham could not step into the fullness of God's promise until he separated from Lot, and you may feel the sting of friendships fading, invitations disappearing, or circles closing around you. But those very losses are the evidence that God is refining your company so you can walk lighter into your destiny, because promotion is never for the crowd, it is always for the called. And another hidden sign is the intensifying of warfare. For when you are on the verge of being lifted, the enemy will launch unexpected attacks, not because you are weak, but because hell is terrified of who you will become once you step into your new level. And so the sudden storms, the strange resistance, the battles that appear out of nowhere are not random. They are confirmation that breakthrough is so close that darkness is throwing everything it can to distract you. Much like Daniel, whose prayers were answered but delayed because the Prince of Persia resisted in the spiritual realm. And so too, your sudden battles are proof that heaven has already released the answer. And now the enemy is fighting in desperation to keep you from holding what God already declared yours. And then there is the sign of discomfort, because when God is preparing you for promotion, He will make the place you once felt comfortable begin to feel too small. The job you once celebrated no longer satisfies. The environment you once enjoyed now feels restrictive, and that inner restlessness is not ingratitude, but divine agitation. God stirring your spirit to let you know that the season you are in cannot contain what He is about to pour out. And like the children of Israel in Egypt, sometimes God allows the pressure of discomfort to increase so that you will not settle in bondage, but long for the freedom of promise. And while it feels like frustration, it is actually preparation, because you will never pursue the next level until the current one becomes unbearable. And another hidden sign is the testing of your faith in silence. For God will often appear quiet just before promotion, leaving you with unanswered prayers and hidden instructions, because He is stretching your ability to trust Him without visible proof, training your heart to walk by faith and not by sight. And if you can obey in silence, if you can worship in the waiting, if you can hold on to His word when everything in your reality screams otherwise, then you have proven that you can handle the weight of the blessing, because elevation always exposes. And if your faith collapses in silence, you will not endure in the spotlight. And so God hides His voice to refine your character before He multiplies your influence. And finally, there is the sign of unexpected opportunities disguised as obstacles, because often the door to promotion does not look glamorous. It looks ordinary, and sometimes even inconvenient, like David carrying bread to his brothers, only to find himself face to face with Goliath. And what seemed like an errand was actually his entrance into destiny. So too, God may place you in positions that look menial, frustrating, or unimportant, but hidden within them is the battle that reveals your anointing, and the platform that ushers you into the next dimension. So pay attention to the silent clues: your isolation, your warfare, your discomfort, your silence, and your strange opportunities, because they are not accidents. They are heaven's code whispering that promotion is closer than you realize. And the only question is whether you will interpret the signs correctly or complain your way out of the very season God designed to lift you higher. And here is the shocking reality you must never forget. Promotion from God is rarely announced with trumpets or celebrated by crowds. It is often hidden beneath trials that feel unbearable, because heaven knows that if you cannot be trusted in obscurity, you cannot be trusted in opportunity. And so one of the clearest hidden signs that God is about to promote you is that He tests you with small, unseen responsibilities. Because Luke 16:10 reminds us that whoever is faithful in little will be trusted with much. And this means the assignments that seem beneath you are actually the stepping stones to the influence you have been praying for. So the late night tasks, the unnoticed service, the seasons where nobody claps for you are all part of the preparation. And another sign is that God allows doors to close violently in your face, not because He is cruel, but because He knows the wrong door can destroy the right destiny. And what you interpret as rejection is often protection. For not every opportunity is your opportunity, and sometimes the closed door you cry over is the only thing keeping you from settling for less when God had greater waiting. And if Joseph had remained in Potiphar's house, he would have never sat in Pharaoh's palace. So prison became the unlikely bridge to promotion. And so too, the shutdowns and denials in your life are heaven's strategy to redirect you into alignment with the greater plan. But then comes the even more dangerous sign, which is the hidden exposure of your heart. Because right before promotion, God will surface hidden pride, impatience, or bitterness that you thought you had buried, because He refuses to elevate what would later sabotage you. And so He allows pressure to squeeze out what you cannot carry into your next season. Much like the wilderness exposed the Israelites' complaints, showing they were not ready for the promise. And so the arguments, the sudden emotional triggers, the offenses rising to the surface are not evidence that you have failed, but proof that God is cleansing you before He crowns you, because what is hidden must be revealed before He multiplies your influence. And then there is the test of humility, for right before you are lifted, you will often be placed under authority, correction, or leadership that challenges your pride, because God is measuring whether you can submit before you can lead. And David served Saul even when Saul tried to kill him, refusing to dishonor the man holding the throne he was promised, which revealed his heart was ready for kingship. And so too, the seasons where you must honor those who mistreat you, serve where you feel overlooked, or obey when you feel misunderstood, are all silent signs that God is preparing you for something greater. Because true promotion always demands proven humility. And then finally comes the most misunderstood sign of all, the increase of inner clarity. For even when everything around you looks chaotic, when God is preparing to promote you, He will sharpen your inner vision, giving you dreams, whispers, and convictions that will not let you go. And while others cannot see it, deep down you know something is shifting, because your spirit begins to outgrow your surroundings. And the promise of God becomes so alive inside you that you cannot ignore it anymore. And this is how you know elevation is near, because vision always comes before manifestation. And the reason the warfare intensifies, the silence deepens, and the discomfort grows heavier is because heaven is birthing a new level through you. And birth always comes with labor pains. But those pains are not the end. They are the signal that something new is being delivered. And so when you feel the isolation, the battles, the frustration, the silence, the closed doors, the exposure, the humbling, and the inner vision all pressing at once, do not misinterpret it as abandonment. For these are not punishments, but promotions in disguise. And the most dangerous mistake you could make is to quit in the very season designed to qualify you for what you prayed for. So hold steady, because the hidden signs you see right now are not random. They are heaven's coded language declaring that your promotion is closer than you think. And if you can discern them, embrace them, and endure them, you will not only step into your next level, you will realize that every tear, every test, and every trial was secretly heaven's strategy to position you for something greater than your mind could have imagined.